No, I didn't reference anything for these. I do reference sometimes, but these straight out of my mind, baby.
Tracing in of itself can be a helpful tool to new artists. However, relying and depending on tracing to the point of profit is morally wrong. Unfortunately, justifying tracing to yourself and making it part of your brand is something I found with Daidus. Daidus? With over 1 million subs and being on the platform for a couple years, how has it been so long that no one noticed he traces? This is the story of a man from Maine who will never be the same after this video came out. P.S. At the end of this video I announced the tablet contest winner from Galmon. But they aren't sponsoring this video. Skillshare is a fantastic online learning community of over 25,000 classes in business, design, and more. Yuko has a class all about ink drawing techniques.
Also been teaching illustration at School of Visual Arts here in New York for more than 10 years.
But don't forget about Gabriel, who has a class in character illustration.
I like to work on this really graphic, illustrative style, and my work became known for its narrative and the storytelling elements that I love to.
Anyone who clicks this link gets 2 free months of Skillshare Premium, so you can have access to the dang old site right here with all the classes. And with an annual subscription of less than $10 a month, it's the most affordable service in its class. But speaking of drawing, what kind of tablet does Daidus use? Funny you should ask, and I would appreciate if you'd let me start the video. Graduating sometime in the early 2010s, Daidus has a bachelor's degree in 3D animation.
I graduated from an art college.
Graduated from an art school. Art college. Art college.
This is art school.
Wanting YouTube to become a full job, he has some similarities to Rebecca Barham, as she also graduated from an animation college and wants YouTube to be her career. But the similarities end there.
For your information, here's a stand that I bought for 20 bucks, and this is $3,000, so you know spending 20 bucks is no big deal. When you're spending $3,000 on a super powerful tablet that runs Windows 10.
And despite him spending an outrageous amount of money for a drawing tablet, I will give him props that he earned it by working hard at Toys R Us and animating for a certain YouTuber once.
Anyways, another thing is that I'm working at Toys R Us right now for seasonal because I really want this drawing tablet, and it's freaking $3,000, guys.
But that's enough about his past for now. Let's look at his present.
Alright, dude. So, if you actually want to learn how to steal your roommate's food, that just means you're stepping down to the scum of this earth level, alright? You're joining me.
I was 14, and I remember how everyone I saw on DeviantArt were so amazing. They had so much love and attention that it made me jealous. So I had a phase where I'd steal people's work because I wanted to look good without doing the hard work, but the attention I got wasn't the good kind.
Knowing he graduated from art college and even made the dean's list,
I actually got on the dean's list on my senior year of college, which, by the way, I slept 80% of my classes away that semester.
and looking over at his DeviantArt page, I've seen some great examples of his knowledge over shading, form, and even character design. And that's great. However, over time, he's become complacent with his online life and resorted to tracing in order to get out videos. And when a friend told me to go check out Daidus, I was like, there's probably not that much tracing. I was wrong. After watching through his video library, I took notes whenever there was a trace, and on average, about every 20 seconds, there was a trace. Small note for beginner animators is to use the line tool in Flash, if you use Flash, which is what Daidus uses along with Clip Studio Paint. And you're thinking, why am I bringing this up? Well, take for example this image here from an episode of SpongeBob. Now here's his trace. Forgetting the fact that he could just use the real image if he just instead used the line tool instead of horribly tracing it, he could have approximated for the meme. But noting his video catalog and seeing how long it takes to upload, you're like, hey, he doesn't put out that many videos, why does he trace? You know, since he can draw. So keeping in mind that he's a one-man artist team, and the fact that in one of his unlisted videos he makes note of how much he plays League of Legends, with a recent streak of over 7 hours in one day. So in this scenario, it's just a case of bad time management. Problem with that, what I just said right there, is since he's been doing this for over 3 years, he slowly just found reasons to justify this behavior. And recently on Twitch, Daidus had a live stream where he drew. Side note, his offline screen is actually a trace from Evangelion. But going back to the live stream, suspiciously enough, he started the stream with the sketches already completed. But why am I pointing this out, if not for the fact that it might be a trace sign, considering he didn't draw it on stream, thus proving that he can actually draw? Instead, it's the fact that he spent over 17 hours finishing these 5 panels. A length of time that would make Hayao Miyazaki sad. Which is a person he traced once. In most of his videos, he has really long outros, mainly due to him not being able to finish content. And recently, he once made a video so long that halfway through, he had to use his mouse to finish the art in it. Not to mention the fact that in some parts of his videos, he has a filler or something random because he didn't know what to draw. Now this isn't to say that fourth wall breaks can't work, but if you do it every video, just like how sometimes in his videos he references a trace. But just because you admit it doesn't make it alright. And this is keeping in mind his audience thinks he's great at art, even to the extent of complimenting him on something he didn't even do. As mentioned before, tracing can benefit an artist to help them improve with such things as perspective, anatomy, shadows, etc., etc. However, profiting off it is another thing. You might say, well, YouTubers use stock photos in their videos. Daidus is just putting extra effort into his. But if time is a factor for him, why doesn't he just use the stock photo instead? 2 examples of channels that feature photographs rather than drawings are Livicus and Oliver's Piece. Whether it be for a joke, simple representation, or perhaps time, using a real-life photo in your animation is fine, as it's a better alternative than tracing. And I will add that adding a meme once in a while is fine. However, if your humor relies too much on other people's, well, content, at what point does your work stop being your work, especially if you trace a joke? And you might say, but he's not hurting anyone with his tracing. Well, he is. His reputation. And himself. YouTuber Anime Man once commissioned Daidus to animate a video for him, but rather than taking time and effort into this potential gig, he admits in an unlisted video.
Yeah, and also I felt kind of bad, you know. I kept the Anime Man waiting because I was like, dude, I'll finish it within 2 weeks. 2 weeks later happens. Anime Man, I got a problem here. 2 more weeks, I think. 2 more weeks happen. I just decided that I wanted to do some color effects 2 weeks later. I thought the backgrounds would take longer than usual. I'm sorry. 2 weeks later.
That he kept pushing off the date because of gaming.
I'm just a master at procrastinating, dude. It doesn't help that, in 2017, there was such good video games out, alright? There was Zelda, Nier, Persona 5. Dude, and they're all like 100-hour games, man. So that got me on procrastination levels.
So basically, he profited off of someone else's art, which is partially how Daidus got a lot of subs in the first place due to the shout out from Anime Man.
I know that 95% of you probably came from one source and one source only, and that is the Anime Man. And you know what? I welcome you. I welcome you fully. You are now Barnacle Scum.
However, the profiting didn't stop with that commission. YouTube, Patreon, and sponsorships are his main source of income, and despite noting his previous ability to draw, the products he instead gives his audience is just a bunch of traces. And accepting this behavior and even encouraging it is detrimental to beginning artists and even harmful to the Storytime or even just animation ecosystem in general. And depending on tracing something that's already made, destroys the confidence and potential experimentation in drawing. Now of course, direct referencing and being inspired by works of the past is something natural in the art community, and using images is perfectly fine as long as you add your own spin to the work. Another issue that comes from him tracing is actually believing he drew something original, which hinders my perception of him as an artist and even me trusting him considering all the things I've seen him done.
I think the reason why I traced was because I didn't like my own art. I thought I should have been better, and I wanted to give off the impression that I was a better artist than what I was at the time. It was a lot easier to trace than to practice.
As you all know, the ongoing meme of my channel is that I'm a master procrastinator. XD. Heck, I'm even procrastinating on making this video.
Despite all the negative things that I've been listing and even questioning the existence of his ability to draw, there are notable good things about him. He wants to improve. In watching an unlisted video, he talked about how he wants to improve his setup, and he did, as he completely renovated his recording space for his audience. And his world building is improving as a potentially great method of his own version of storytelling, as rather than a standard character stands in front of screen and talks to the audience, he instead changes it up as the narrative is just he's talking to his friends.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is really embarrassing. Like, so embarrassing. I get lost.
And the blue line aesthetic is a nice touch to that aesthetic. And despite all the negative stuff I've found with him, I can potentially see him improving and bettering his content, not only for his audience, but even for himself.
When you steal, you're not only hurting the original artist, but you also don't improve. So if you want to improve, you need to accept that art is a long process. You won't realize how many people would stay away from you until it's too late. The guilt doesn't feel good, so stop while you're still young.
Working towards better content is to remember your past and strive for something better. And so with that, I would suggest Daidus should be honest to his audience, like he was with me in our private call, where he already admitted to tracing everything from backgrounds to even small references in each video, and whether or not the audience really knew, didn't know, it's best just to tell them. I mean, I used to trace and took a village to help me stop and be more confident with my art. Overall, I don't think Daidus is an evil person. However, I do think he's just an example of something more complicated than just tracing man bad. And with that, I look forward to your next video, and I'm excited to see where you go from here. Last video, I had an art contest with Galmon, and the objective was to draw a 4-panel comic, which some people did. And this person won. Look at their great art. Congratulations, Norn.num. And another thing I forgot to mention was the fact that I accidentally scheduled 3 tablet reviews in one video. So I'm going to do that right now. The rest of this video has nothing to do with Daidus. Today we're going to be comparing tablets from XP Pen, Artisol, and Vike. Now I always say comparing tablets to one another is always hard, as you can see that they mostly have the same specs for mostly the same price. Starting off with the Vike VK1560, one notable thing I like about this 15.6 inch tablet is the fact that you can have a place to put your pen when you're not using it, and how it comes with an adjustable stand. Next we have the Artisol D16, which comes with a better adjustable stand than the Cintiq 13HD. This one also has a pen holder that you can attach like so. And lastly, we have the XP Pen 13.3 Pro standing tall at 13.3 inches. Coming with a standard stand, the XP Pen has a regular pen case rather than a holder. Now let's go into why you might want to buy each tablet specifically. The VK1560 is for the people who want a non-proprietary cable home-based tablet and want something really adjustable with the mount. The Autosol D16 is for those of you who want something a little more color accurate at the expense of a built-in tablet stand, so I'd probably make one yourself. And lastly, we have the XP Pen 13.3 Pro, which might be the smallest tablet, but is the most portablest and color accurate. So if you're on the go a lot, you can either plug it in anywhere with the varied wall plugs, or just in your laptop as it supports USB charging. And so if you're looking for the XP Pen tablet line for yourself, they're having a 14th year anniversary sale. Oh, and if you missed out on the last contest, let's have one right now. So if you want to win the giveaway, follow XP Pen and I on Twitter, and tweet at them a Fred Flintstone drawing for fun with the caption, "Everyone is creative." So do your best, and the winner will be announced September 20th of September. And special thanks to those who voiced in the video. Thank you for watching, and have a good